A lot of times we don't like to, especially as believers, we don't like to admit that there was a failure. Thomas Edison said this. He said, I've not failed 10,000 times. I've just figured out 10,000 ways that don't work for me. So the difference between a win and a loss is the lesson you walk away from with it. Again, the difference is the lesson that you walk away from with it. And when you start embracing your failures, what you're doing is you're learning to stab your weaknesses and strengthen your abilities. When you embrace a failure, what you're saying is, this is an area of my life that's not up to excellence. This is an area of my life that's not up to where it should be. So what I'm going to do is figure out what I need to do to make this area strong. For instance, if your struggle is with spelling, like mine, you don't just say, well, I'm a bad speller, that's why my emails are jacked up. What you say is, I'm going to install spell check. I'm going to do something about the issue so that I've done all I can on the human side to staff this weakness. Okay? Number 3, you have to own your habits. Own your habits. Now, most of us have a routine. There's certain things that we do, and life is cyclical, meaning that usually life happens in this cycle for us every single day. There's seasons, there are times, there are opportunities in our lives. And you can generally tell where you're going by the habits that you keep. And we're going to talk about this in great detail in a minute. And 4th, which is why we're here at Believers Biz, is connecting to the right circles. I'm going to show you later on that your life is the sum total of the 5 people closest to you. Your life is the sum total of the 5 people that you call friend. Friend is an interesting word. It comes from the Latin. It literally means another me. In Latin, when you say friend, you say this is another me. So when I call Jeff my friend, and you see Jeff doing things that are out of character, because I call him friend, you say, oh, well, him and Earlie are cool, then they roll in the same circle. Or as my mom used to say, birds of a feather flock together. So, and with the boom of Facebook, everybody's your friend now. You have 5,432 friends. But I'm a little old-fashioned about that. I think that when you give someone the intimate title of friend, that means you've done due diligence to know what their habits are, to know what their strengths are, to know what their weaknesses are, so that when you align yourself to that person and say, you're another me, you know what you're talking about. And this is something I share with my children a lot. Don't call everyone, you can't call everyone your friend. I know them, they're my associate, that's my classmate, that's my coworker. It's amazing to me, this lifestyle that we live in. I meet people and they say, this is my best friend, I love her so much. Oh, come here. I said, how long have y'all known each other? 2 weeks. That's not ample time to qualify that person to be a part of your life. 9/11 changed a lot of things for us, especially on the Homeland Security forefront and how we, relate to terrorism. But one thing that it did was it made us more aware of who's sitting next to us. And if you imagine, as you walk before you can walk into an airport and just go right up, get your ticket and get on a plane, go through a little security check. Now you have to go through separate screens. 3 separate screens. I think that we should use this in our friendships as well. When you meet someone, the first thing you need to do is you need to check their identification to verify that they're who they say they are. When you walk into an airport nowadays, now they stop you, they line you, you go through something to verify, is this person carrying something that could be detrimental to us later? Then after you do that, then they make you remove some clothing to pass through another checkpoint. That just simply means now we're going to verify that you're not carrying anything that could harm us before we board to go into our destiny. So as we start calling people friends and start navigating through relationships, remember, at least, pass the wand over this guy. Make sure he's not carrying any dangerous objects before you grab him and say, this is my best buddy. Okay? Strategy. By definition, a strategy is an important or essential in relation to a plan of action. It is a careful plan or method. It's a clever strategy. And all that simply means is that the word strategic it was originally a military word, which meant we're not just going to decide where we're going to go. We're going to begin to evaluate the areas that we'll have to encounter as we go. I don't think anyone in this room has an issue with where we want to go. Does everybody have a vision? Everybody have a dream? Everybody have a destination, a goal that they want to go to? Great. The issue then becomes, what are we going to do today to take that from a dream to a reality. One of the things, and I just turned 40 a few weeks ago, is as I got into my late 30s, I began to really despise the term potential. Not for potential's sake, but because potential means unrealized ability. And at 40, I don't want to be full of potential. At 40, I want to have realized something. I want to have had something come out of me that said, this person was here and he made a difference in their life. I want to go to my grave empty, if that makes sense. I want to, when I die, when I sleep, whether it's by the rapture, whether it's undertaker or overtaker, I want to go out empty. I want to have everything that God put in me out of me by the time I'm that old to go that way. Because I don't want to go to my grave and make my grave a rich place. One of the most wealthiest places in the world is a graveyard, simply because that's the place where people take their potential. Your potential doesn't deserve to die with you. It should live as a legacy for generations to come. So as I teach and as I coach people, I train them that we're going to rob the grave of its potential. We're going to rob the grave. So that's what